Deep in Earth's strategic command center beneath the Rocky Mountains, Director Sarah Chen watched the holographic display with practiced calm. The massive Meridian Warfleet had just appeared at the edge of the Kuiper Belt, their quantum signatures lighting up the advanced sensor grid like a Christmas tree. 200 ships strong, each vessel bristling with what the Empire considered state-of-the-art weaponry. If they only knew. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the tension filling the room. The command center staff maintained their professional composure, fingers dancing across quantum interfaces that the Meridians would consider impossible for primitive humans to possess. "The fleet is maintaining formation at the detection boundary," Director, Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez reported. "Their energy signatures suggest charging weapons, but they haven't moved closer. Yet." Chen nodded, a slight smile playing at the corners of her mouth. The Meridians, like so many other species, had fallen for humanity's greatest deception: the careful cultivation of an image of technological mediocrity. For the past 50 years, Earth had presented itself as a plucky but limited civilization, just advanced enough to join the galactic community, but not enough to pose any real threat. The deception had been necessary. When humanity first achieved faster-than-light travel, they discovered a galaxy dominated by ancient empires who viewed younger races as either vassals or threats to be eliminated. Rather than announce their true capabilities, Earth's leaders made a bold decision: to hide in plain sight. Their broadcasting director, Communications Officer Lisa Patil announced, "Wideband, all frequencies. They want to make sure we can't miss it." "Put it through," Chen ordered, straightening her uniform. The holographic display shifted, revealing the imperial purple-scaled visage of Fleet Commander Vexthar. His ceremonial crown gleamed with embedded quantum crystals, an ostentatious display of wealth and power that made Chen want to roll her eyes. "People of Earth," the commander's translated voice boomed through the chamber, "your independence ends today. The Meridian Empire has tolerated your expanding presence in this sector for too long. Submit to imperial authority now, and your world will be granted protected status under our benevolent rule. Resist, and we will demonstrate the consequences of defiance." Chen let the silence stretch for a moment before responding. "Fleet Commander, this is Director Chen of Earth Strategic Command. We appreciate your generous offer. However, you appear to have violated several provisions of the Galactic Concordat by bringing an armed fleet into sovereign territory without prior notification." Vexthar's scales rippled with barely concealed contempt. "The Concordat applies to recognized powers, Director. Earth is a minor world that has overstepped its bounds. We have come to correct this imbalance." "I see." Chen's voice remained perfectly pleasant. "And I assume you've analyzed our defensive capabilities." "Thoroughly," Vexthar replied with a dismissive gesture. "Your planetary shields are generations behind Imperial technology, and your fleet consists of barely a dozen outdated cruisers. This need not end in violence, Director. Accept the inevitable." Chen exchanged knowing looks with her staff before continuing. "Commander, I'm going to share something with you that only a handful of non-humans know. Earth's public technology profile is, let's call it, intentionally modest." She nodded to Rodriguez, who entered a series of commands. Throughout the solar system, quantum fields shifted. Thousands of previously invisible defense platforms shimmered into view, surrounding the Meridian fleet in a three-dimensional grid of overwhelming firepower. Simultaneously, the primitive planetary shields around Earth transformed, revealing their true nature as a layered quantum defense system far beyond anything the Empire possessed. What is this deception?" Vexthar demanded, his composure cracking as new sensor data flooded his ship's computers. "This is humanity's true face, Commander. We could have shared it with you peacefully, as we have with other civilizations who chose cooperation over confrontation. Instead, you came with threats and demands." Chen's smile faded. "You have 1 hour to retreat beyond the Kuiper Belt. After that, we will be forced to demonstrate exactly how outmatched you are." Choose wisely. The transmission cut off, leaving the command center in momentary silence. Chen turned to her staff, noting their tense but ready expressions. They had trained for this moment, knowing it would come eventually. The only question now was whether the Meridians would learn from humanity's revelation, or if they would need a more forceful lesson in diplomatic etiquette. Deploy the quantum interdiction field, she ordered. If they try to flee without proper authorization, I want their drives safely contained. We're not barbarians, after all. As her crew carried out their orders with quiet efficiency, Shan allowed herself a moment of reflection. Humanity had worked hard to reach this point, advancing their technology in secret while presenting a carefully crafted image to the galaxy. Today, that deception would end, one way or another. The real question was how many other empires would need similar demonstrations before they recognized Earth as an equal power. The next hour would determine whether the galaxy's political landscape would change through diplomacy or demonstration. Either way, the age of humanity hiding its true capabilities was coming to an end. The next 45 minutes aboard the Strategic Command Center passed with excruciating slowness. Director Chen watched the Meridian Fleet's energy signatures fluctuate as they presumably debated their options. Their communications were a chaos of encrypted transmissions, bouncing between ships like panicked lightning. They're repositioning, Rodriguez reported, his hands hovering over the quantum interface, moving into a defensive formation. Chen nodded, studying the tactical display. The Meridian ships had arranged themselves in a classic Imperial shield wall, a formation designed to maximize their combined defensive capabilities. It was an impressive display of coordination, and completely useless against Earth's quantum-based weapon systems. Director, Officer Patel called out, "We're receiving a transmission from their flagship. Text only. They're trying to save face," Chen mused. "Put it on my personal display." The message was brief and formal, requesting a private communication channel between Commander Vexthar and Director Chen. No threats, no demands, just a simple diplomatic request. Progress, of sorts. "Establish the link," Chen ordered. "Private channel to my office." Minutes later, she sat behind her desk, facing the holographic image of Vexthar. The Meridian commander had removed his ceremonial crown, a subtle but significant gesture in their culture. "Director Chen," he began, his translator struggling to convey the complex harmonics of his native tongue. "Your revelation has placed us in an uncomfortable position. Truth often does that, Commander. The Empire cannot simply withdraw. We would lose standing among the other powers. Surely you understand the complexities of galactic politics." Chen leaned forward. "I understand that you're trying to find a way to save face while avoiding a confrontation you now know you can't win. Let me help you with that." Vexthar's scales shifted in what Chen's xenopolitical training identified as cautious interest. "You would offer terms. Better. I'm offering an opportunity." Chen activated her desk's holographic projector, displaying a series of technical specifications. "What you're seeing is a small fraction of Earth's advanced shielding technology. Technology we're willing to share, through proper diplomatic and trade channels, of course." The commander's multiple eyes widened as he processed the data. "This is generous. But the Empire does not accept charity from lesser." "Commander," Chen interrupted gently, "I think we're past pretending Earth is a lesser power. What I'm offering is a chance to transform this potential conflict into a mutually beneficial first contact situation, one that would demonstrate the Empire's wisdom in seeking diplomatic solutions. The Emperor would need assurances, proof of Earth's willingness to be a constructive part of the galactic community." Chen smiled. "Which is why I'm prepared to host an Imperial diplomatic delegation here on Earth. Full diplomatic honors, public ceremonies, the works. Your fleet's patrol becomes a ceremonial escort for opening relations between our peoples." Vexthar was silent for a long moment, his secondary breathing vents pulsing rhythmically. "And the other powers? They will question why we did not know of Earth's true capabilities. We're preparing to reveal our actual technological status to the galactic community gradually. The Meridian Empire could be seen as the power that first recognized our potential. Think of the diplomatic advantages. The commander's scales rippled in what might have been amusement. You are offering us the chance to pretend we knew all along. To claim we came not to conquer, but to establish formal relations with a rising power. A face-saving measure that benefits everyone. Chen agreed. Though I should mention that this offer expires in. She checked her display. 12 minutes. After that, we'll be forced to demonstrate our defensive capabilities in a less diplomatic fashion. Vexthar's secondary eyes blinked in rapid succession, a sign of intense calculation in his species. You understand that I must consult with Imperial Comma. Earth's orbital space had never seen such a spectacle. The Meridian fleet hung in precise formation, their hulls gleaming in the sunlight, while Earth's ceremonial fleet took up flanking positions. Behind the scenes, quantum sensors monitored every fluctuation in the alien vessel's energy signatures, ready to respond to any hint of betrayal. Director Chen stood on the observation deck of the newly revealed Earth defense platform Alpha, watching the final preparations for the diplomatic reception. The massive station had remained cloaked for decades, visible only to those with the highest security clearances. Now it would serve as the stage for humanity's coming-out party. Final security checks complete. Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, appearing at her side. The quantum dampening fields are active and calibrated. If anyone tries anything unfortunate, their weapons won't even power up. Excellent. Chen adjusted her formal uniform. And our other guests. The representatives from the Galactic Council are approaching the solar system now. Right on schedule. That had been her masterstroke. While negotiating with Vexthar, she had secretly dispatched quantum-encrypted invitations to key members of the Galactic Council. The revelation of Earth's true technological status would have maximum diplomatic impact with proper witnesses. The observation deck's quantum comm system chimed. Director, Officer Patel's voice came through. Commander Vexthar's shuttle is approaching, and we're detecting some interesting readings from their escort vessels. Interesting how? They're trying to scan the station with their most advanced sensors. Should we maintain the selective blocking fields? Chen smiled. No, let them scan. It's time they saw what they're really dealing with. The Meridian shuttle approached with precise grace, its purple hull emblazoned with Imperial insignia. As it entered the station's docking field, the selective blocking fields dropped, allowing their sensors to finally see the true nature of Earth's technology. Chen could almost imagine the shock rippling through their sensor crews. The diplomatic reception hall had been carefully designed to showcase human achievements while remaining welcoming to various alien physiologies. Quantum-generated atmospheric fields created comfortable breathing environments for each species, while gravity plates adjusted automatically to match preferred planetary conditions. Commander Vexthar emerged from his shuttle accompanied by a delegation of Imperial dignitaries. Their scales shifted through patterns of awe and disbelief as they took in their surroundings. The station's quantum crystal architecture made their most advanced materials look primitive by comparison. Welcome to Earth Defense Platform Alpha, Chen greeted them formally. I trust your sensors found their unobstructed scans enlightening. Vexthar's scales rippled with what might have been embarrassment. Most illuminating, Director. Though I must admit, some of our readings seem impossible. Our scientists are quite confused. They're about to be more confused, Chen replied. The Galactic Council representatives will be arriving shortly. I believe it's time for humanity to share some of our advances with the wider galaxy. As if on cue, multiple ships emerged from quantum space near the station. Representatives from various galactic powers had arrived, drawn by the mysterious invitation promising a demonstration that would reshape the understanding of technological advancement. The next few hours were a carefully choreographed dance of diplomacy and revelation. Chen led the assembled dignitaries through a series of demonstrations, each more impressive than the last. Quantum computing that made their best systems look like ancient calculators, energy generation that violated what they thought were universal laws, defense systems that could render entire fleets helpless without firing a shot. How? A council elder finally asked, their crystalline form vibrating with emotion. How did you achieve all this in secret? We didn't have much choice, Chen explained. When we first achieved faster-than-light travel, we discovered a galaxy divided between ancient powers. Any emerging civilization that showed too much promise was either subjugated or eliminated, so we decided to hide our true capabilities while we developed our defenses. A wise precaution, Vexthar admitted, his scales showing patterns of respect. Though it must have been difficult, pretending to be less advanced than you were. It was necessary, but now we believe it's time for a change. Earth is proposing a new galactic concordat, one that promotes cooperation and shared advancement rather than competition and dominance. She nodded to Rodriguez, who activated the chamber's main viewing screen. It showed a live feed from the edge of known space, where an Earth research vessel was preparing to test a new form of quantum drive. While you were planning your attack, humanity was pushing the boundaries of what's possible. This ship is about to attempt the first jump into intergalactic space. We're ready to explore the spaces between galaxies to push beyond everything we thought we knew. But we'd rather not do it alone. The assembled delegates watched in stunned silence as the research vessel activated its experimental drive. Space itself seemed to fold, and the ship vanished in a flash of quantum energy. Moments later, it reappeared, transmitting data from a position that should have been impossible to reach. The choice is yours, Chen continued. Continue fighting over scraps of known space, or join us in exploring the true frontier. Earth's technology can either be a wall that contains you or a bridge that elevates you. Those who accept our proposal will have immediate access to the first tier of quantum innovations. Those who don't. She let the sentence hang, but everyone understood the implications. Earth's defensive capabilities made opposition futile. The only logical choice was cooperation. The chamber erupted in discussion as delegates consulted with their governments via quantum channels. Chen watched the political maneuvering with quiet satisfaction. The outcome was never really in doubt. They had all seen what resistance would mean. One by one, the delegations signaled their acceptance. Even the Drachnids, after lengthy internal debate, agreed to the new framework. The galaxy was changing, and they would rather be part of that change than left behind. There's one more thing, Chen announced as the final votes were recorded. Earth has detected signals from other galaxies, signs of civilizations far more advanced than any of us. We're not alone in the universe, and we're not even close to being the most advanced species out there. If we're going to reach their level, we need to do it together. The revelation sent a fresh wave of excitement through the chamber. The promise of connection with truly advanced civilizations, combined with Earth's demonstrated technology, had transformed fear into anticipation. As the delegates began working out the details of Project Unity, Chen stepped away from the podium. Humanity had achieved what once seemed impossible, uniting the galaxy not through force, but through the promise of something better. Director Rodriguez approached with a datapad. The research vessel's readings. They found something out there. Something big. Chen smiled. The galaxy had just been unified, and already new adventures were calling. Whatever waited between the stars, humanity would face it not as conquerors or victims, but as leaders of a united galactic civilization. The real journey was just beginning. Chen opened a general broadcast channel to all the immobilized ships. This is Director Chen of Earth Strategic Command. Your vessels are now held in quantum containment fields. Any attempt to breach these fields will result in the immediate shutdown of all systems except life support. I suggest you power down your weapons and prepare to receive boarding parties. The response was immediate and chaotic. Some ships attempted to flee, only to find their engines completely neutralized. Others tried to fire their weapons, discovering that their advanced energy cannons had been reduced to expensive decorations. Director, Patel called out, we're receiving surrender signals from 80% of the Drachnid vessels. The Meridians are still processing their situation. Send them visual feeds of their ship's condition, Chen ordered. Let them see exactly what they're dealing with. The command center screen showed the once proud vessels hanging helpless in space, surrounded by the barely visible shimmer of quantum containment fields. Earth's true defensive capabilities had been revealed not through a diplomatic demonstration, but through the complete and bloodless neutralization of a surprise attack. New transmission from Commander Vexthar, Patil announced. He's requesting to discuss terms. Chen allowed herself a moment of satisfaction before responding. The Meridians and Drachnids had played directly into humanity's hands, giving Earth the perfect opportunity to demonstrate why attempting to maintain the old galactic order through force was futile. Put him through, she said. I believe it's time to discuss the real terms of our new relationship with the galaxy. And this time, there will be no room for diplomatic games. As Vexthar's image appeared once more, his scales now showing patterns of absolute submission, Chen reflected that sometimes the best way to establish peace was to demonstrate that war was simply no longer a viable option. 1 month after the failed attack on Earth's colonies, the Galactic Council convened in an unprecedented emergency session. The chosen location was symbolic: Earth Defense Platform Alpha, the same station where humanity had first revealed its true capabilities. This time, however, the gathered representatives weren't there to witness a demonstration. They were there to negotiate the terms of a new galactic order. Director Chen stood at the central podium, surveying the assembled delegates. The Meridian representatives, led by a chastened Vexthar, sat quietly in their designated section. The Drachnid delegation had been reduced to a handful of junior diplomats, their senior leadership still under investigation for the unauthorized attack. Most telling were the empty seats. Several minor powers had declined to attend, fearing association with either side of the recent conflict. Distinguished representatives, Chen began, her voice carrying across the quantum-enhanced chamber. We stand at a crossroads. The recent attacks on Earth's colonies have demonstrated that the old ways of thinking, of viewing technological advancement as a zero-sum game, must end. She gestured, and the chamber's holographic systems activated, displaying a real-time map of known space. Points of light indicated the locations of quantum containment fields still holding captured warships. Earth could have responded to these attacks with destruction. Instead, we chose to demonstrate a better way. Not one life was lost in neutralizing the combined fleets of 2 major powers. This wasn't mercy. It was proof that we've moved beyond the need for traditional warfare. The Drachnid representatives shifted uncomfortably in their crystalline environment chambers. Their attack had been meant to preserve the old order. Instead, it had proven how obsolete that order had become. Today, we're proposing a new framework for galactic cooperation. Chen activated another holographic display, showing a complex network of interconnected systems. Project Unity, a complete restructuring of how civilizations interact, trade, and develop. The details began scrolling across the delegates' information screens. Technology sharing programs that would gradually bring all member worlds to similar advancement levels. Joint defense initiatives that would replace individual military forces with a unified peacekeeping fleet. Educational exchanges to ensure cultural understanding matched technological progress. This is unprecedented. A Meridian delegate protested. You're asking us to surrender our technological sovereignty. No, Chen corrected. We're offering you the chance to advance beyond the need for technological competition. Earth's quantum technology makes warfare obsolete. Why cling to weapons when we can focus on exploration and discovery? She gestured, and a holographic display appeared, showing proposals for technology sharing, joint research initiatives, and mutual defense agreements. The assembled diplomats leaned forward, their various sensory organs fixed on the potential benefits being offered. Of course, Chen continued, those who choose to cooperate with Earth will have priority access to these technologies. The Meridian Empire, for example, has already shown wisdom in seeking peaceful relations. Vexthar's scales shifted to patterns of smug satisfaction. His apparent diplomatic coup was about to make him a hero in imperial politics. The fact that he had originally come to conquer Earth would be conveniently forgotten. As the diplomats began discussing the implications of Earth's revelations, Chen's comm unit chimed softly. She stepped away to answer it. "Director," Rodriguez's voice was tense. "We're detecting unusual quantum fluctuations from several of the Meridian escort ships. They might be." The celebratory atmosphere aboard Earth Defense Platform Alpha lasted precisely 3 days. That's when the first reports of attacks on Earth's outer colonies began arriving through quantum channels. Director Chen had been expecting something like this. The galaxy's power structure wouldn't change without resistance. "Status report," she demanded, striding into the emergency command center. The room's holographic displays showed multiple conflict zones across human space. 3 separate attack groups, Rodriguez reported grimly. "They're hitting our colonies in the Centauri, Proxima, and Sirius systems simultaneously. No identification markers on the ships, but the energy signatures suggest Drachnid technology." Chen nodded. The Drachnid collective had been notably absent from the diplomatic reception. As one of the oldest spacefaring races, they had the most to lose from a shift in the galactic balance of power. "What about our defensive systems?" "Functioning perfectly." Rodriguez allowed himself a small smile. "The attackers don't seem to realize our colonies have the same level of protection as Earth. They're not even getting close to the planetary shields." The command center's main screen lit up with an incoming transmission. Commander Vexthar's scaled face appeared, showing patterns of genuine concern. "Director Chen, we've detected the attacks. The Empire stands ready to assist in Earth's defense, as per our new alliance." Chen studied his expression carefully. The Meridians had been model allies since the diplomatic reception, almost suspiciously so. "We appreciate the offer, Commander, but our defensive systems have the situation well in hand. Nevertheless, I have dispatched Imperial warships to your colony worlds. We must show unity in the face of such barbaric actions." Before Chen could respond, Officer Patel's voice cut through the command center. "Director, multiple quantum space ruptures detected. Ships emerging in all 3 systems. They're Meridian warships, but their weapon systems are hot." Chen's eyes snapped back to Vexthar's image. The commander's scales had shifted to a pattern she hadn't seen before, triumph mixed with regret. "I truly wished there could have been another way, Director," he said softly. "But the Empire cannot allow any power to possess technology so far beyond our own. The risk is too great." The transmission cut off as Meridian warships appeared in precise attack formation around each threatened colony. They had used the Drachnid attacks as cover to position their forces, counting on Earth's trust in their new alliance. "Status of colonial defenses." Chen's voice was cold. "Quantum shields holding at full strength," Rodriguez reported. "The Meridians are coordinating with the Drachnid forces, attempting to find weak points in our defensive grid. Should we activate the countermeasures?" Chen watched the tactical display as dozens of Meridian and Drachnid ships probed Earth's colonial defenses. They were about to learn that humanity's protective facade hadn't just hidden their technological advancement. It had hidden their preparation for exactly this kind of betrayal. "Activate Protocol Omega," she ordered. Full spectrum response. Throughout human space, hidden quantum satellites activated. Instead of the simple defensive screens the attackers had detected, they began generating overlapping fields of specialized energy that turned space itself against the hostile ships. Weapons refused to fire. Engines lost power. Communication systems went dark. "All enemy vessels are contained," Rodriguez announced with professional satisfaction. "Quantum fields are holding them in position. No casualties on either side."